Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the next installment in our Minecraft series. And as you can guess from the thumbnail, we are still working on our creeper farm. And as I mentioned in the last video, this is a creeper farm that's kind of sort of by my own design, mainly because I'm taking some elements of some things that I've seen or that I've liked, but giving it my own little twist or tweak. Now, we've made a lot of some really nice progress here since the last episode, and I'll give you a tour of kind of where we're at with that. But today's main project is actually going to be digging out the overall shape of the farm, because as of right now we've just got the big central pit going down, and we've got our beacon set up about at the halfway or midway point. So I'm not too concerned about not being able to get this done. It's just a matter of, well, digging out the areas that we absolutely need to. So this pit is going to taper a little bit, and right here is like the farthest over that we would need to bring the side, or the farthest outside of the pit. And I've got those areas marked out here as well. As you can see, there's a big tunnel that goes down here. And if we come over this way as well, you'll see that there's one here also, and then one here next to our little access points. And it fits out really nicely because I can dig down here and here without affecting particularly this channel of the soul sand elevator that we've got to get in and out of our access point. So real quick, I guess, before I get back into some more of the digging that I have left to do here, let's go ahead and jump down and show you kind of where we're at with some of this. Now, as we've already showcased, I've got this little set here where this is where the mobs will actually come through. Again, I just feel that lava is a lot more efficient than some of the other things that you could do. I'm not about to go around and see what I have to do in order to access some wither roses or other things of that sort. But if we jump in here, we should be able to kind of showcase what we've got going in terms of a collection area. And I'll go ahead and patch this area up a little bit before we move on to the actual explanation of what we've got going. But this is the collection area itself, and we're going to have some spillover from the top down into these little collection waterways. And it's pretty uniform. There's one exception here, which I'll explain in just a moment. But I actually have the water sources needed for this project over here. And they're back behind these little partition walls where I've got one source block up here that flows down this little canopy to these one block access points where the water flows out and under for a little bit. And that gives us enough clearance in order for the water to reach over to our actual lava pit. And sure, it doesn't completely cover over it, but we don't need it to, because the water is going to draw in the mobs to the point where they're going to be able to drop into that lava and subsequently get burned out by it. Now, the gate is what I needed to have in the center to keep the water from accidentally flowing in and ruining anything, in particular the lava that's here, but these signposts around the edges are really going to do what we need it to in terms of keeping the rest of that out. Now, this other spot that I have here is for my redstone wiring for the power switch for the actual water dispenser to cut down on some server lag. We don't get a whole lot of that, but it's definitely there, and there is some prominent. But you'll see some of these planks that I have set up around the edges here, and they serve a very particular purpose, which I can highlight here in just a moment. But first, we've got to make our way out of here, so I can kind of show you what the top side of this area kind of looks like. And to do that, I do have to go through this pit, but it's okay because my armor does have fire protection to it, so I'm not too concerned about the little bit of fire damage and lava damage I'm going to take here. Let's go ahead and grab a carrot on our way up our little elevator here. And that's really going to be all we need in terms of getting back up here. Now, I'll go ahead and glide down to the bottom of this pit, or at least to the beacon that we've got set up here so we can get down to the actual access point for the top area. And as you can see, this is the taper or shape that we'll need for the overall farm, and this is really the only layer that needs to be staggered at all due to the wiring and other mechanisms that we have set up down here. But that being said, we do have these signs set up around here as it helps a little bit with the water flow. Now these signs don't outright stop the water flow from gushing out over the edge, but they do a fairly decent job in allowing me to control what I need the water to be doing. Now I do need to dig out this area a little bit, but I'm not too concerned again about the overall performance here. And this is a little bit closer because it is on the side of the overall switching mechanism as well. But overall, it's coming together really quite nicely. So all I really have left to do at this juncture is dig down the sides to get that nice taper point. At that point, we can go ahead and remove the beacon from overhead and start actually working on the layers here. Now, I probably won't have time to do that today, but I'm going to have a lot more time between today and the next episode that we have set to go up on Friday. Not by Friday, and by Friday I mean Saturday, which is our regular, or has been our regular episode day. So we'll be able to hopefully showcase a fully functioning creeper farm by the time our regular video comes around to be presented. So I'm going to spend some time digging things out, and we'll bring you back a little bit later once I've got some more progress to show here. All right, so we're done with that digging out the hole. I mean, there's a couple extra things here I might want to tweak out, but all things considered, we are finished with that. So now we can do a little bit of some showcasing here. I'm just going to patch up some of these spots there. But other than that, we are finished. And I really hope that I have a water bucket on me. I do, which is good. Because this is the general idea of what we're going for. So of course this beacon's not going to be here. I'm actually going to move it here in just a moment because we don't need it in this pit anymore. But you can see we've got all of the sides carved out. And I'm thinking of making this at least somewhere between 5 and 7 tiers of what we're going to end up doing with it. So let's go ahead and pop these torches off because I don't need them here for the time being. And let's move our water bucket into our inventory. And here's the way that this is going to work. Now you're familiar with it. I'm going to have a dispenser mechanism here in the center that's going to release this bucket of water every now and again. And as you can see, water is evenly flowing off the sides. Now, it's not stopping, which it would with some other designs that I've seen, but again, my main goal was I wanted to try and make this a little more compact. And fortunately, with these signs oriented like so, the main area where the mobs are going to fall off of at the edges are not as big of a concern because the mobs will still get stuck. Well, they won't get stuck here. They're going to fall all the way down to the edge, which is ultimately what we want it to do. And let's just double check all of the different sides here and affirm that that is the case as I fall off myself. But since we've got the water bucket active, we can go ahead and climb back up the edge here. But yeah, as you can see, this is the basic framework for how this is going to work. And you'll even see, I believe it was over here, this is where our little land bridge is for our switch mechanism. And the water will still allow the mobs to run down into the killing chamber area. So all in all, it should be a functional design. So it's just a matter of getting the actual mob spawning platforms and all that put together. But that will be a project that I'm going to work on a little bit off camera in order to affirm that we've got everything finalized. Now, the last thing that I have to do here is not die by knocking my head on the sides of this pit, but we'll want to land at this beacon and go ahead and start the process of taking that down. So we are all good to continue on into phase 2. And look, we're even right at about midday. So we've got plenty of daylight left to get this thing taken down and move on to the next phase in this project. And we'll actually be showcasing some of the mechanisms and how that works, and hopefully have a fully functioning farm ready to go for the video on Saturday. So thanks again for watching. If you're enjoying this series, please feel free to leave a like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe. That subscription is free and easy, and I've got content coming to you on a daily basis. And once again, thanks for your time, and you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. Take care.